Hey everybody, Jeff Dole here from Tracking 200. I'm in the woods today doing a little preseason scouting. It's late September. I'm just in a little drainage here and I got a bunch of ash trees around me, so having a peek to see if any of these are hit with some buck rubs. The plan today is to come into a spot that I've tracked a couple big bucks before and put some trail cameras out. I haven't used a lot of trail cameras recently, and what I'm planning to do here is kind of cast a net similar to the way a bow hunter would cast a net around maybe a place that they've got a tree stand or they're looking to pattern some deer, only I'm casting it really wide. I'm going to hit a few different mountaintops here, and what I'm trying to do is get a sense of the quality of the bucks in the area as well as their travels. So I know where I've seen their tracks before and tracked them, and that can be, maybe more towards the later part of the season, trying to find out their earlier range. So give me an opportunity that if I do want to come and bow hunt, I can get into where they're going to be spending more of their time, and if we do get snow early, know where I got a good chance of picking up a track. Alright, so I just came up on top of this knob, and there's a trail I know that runs along it on the other side where I don't come from. And just up here, seen a couple fresh piles of deer M&Ms, and I got a buck track here right in the leaves. I know that might not look like much, but I'm gonna get down to it. See that? You can see just how far he's sinking in. Came from that way, so I'll backtrack him and see there's a scrape down in there someplace, and we'll see if we can bring a little more information to the story. So the mass crop this year is just unbelievable. I've heard folks been talking about the beech nuts up north where I'm at here. There's an awful lot more acorns, and this is off red oak, but they're just all over the place. I mean, if you're be putting the feed bag on this year, you can just grab handfuls of them. I like the white oak better than like the red oak, and if I see a white oak here, I'll point it out, but there's just, it's like walking on marbles here. There's just acorns every place. Just how many are on the ground there? Just so the deer are gonna have a lot of options when it comes to eating, and they're not gonna have to move far initially. They're gonna be able to just stick to one area if they want and feed all day. Same thing goes for for the doe, and so that could make movement a little more challenging in terms of patterning in the big woods this year. I don't do too much of that, but I do love a good beech nut crop up north. So I've been looking for a funnel, really anything that would just take the deer and kind of force them to congregate in a specific area as they're walking through the woods, and I think I might have found it. So what I got is I got this valley coming up from basin down here, and it runs up in, and this goes up there. I'm on a hump right now, and if I look over top of this hump, there's another funnel there. So this finger just kind of dies, and what I'm hoping is that as deer are coming from either of these two directions, they're gonna funnel right into this spot down here. The woods, well, they can be huge, can be dissected into smaller pieces, geographical features, and some of it you can't even see. Some of it has to do with the forest too, in terms of openness or softwood, dark timber. But I'm gonna walk up here just a little bit and see if there's a trail, scrape. I've seen a lot of purple mushrooms today, but I don't know if I've ever seen one like this. It's pretty unique. Leave that baby alone. Yeah, going up and down these mountains. I think I just about burnt my heels off, but I'm onto a good trail here now. I'm just heading into the second spot here. I gotta say that the road is not one that's maintained by the town, and it's in really rough shape. We've had a lot of heavy rain this year, and I think it's a good warning for anybody that hasn't been up to their spot yet. If you have a unmaintained road that you use, or there's some unmaintained roads that you like to drive, get back to your spot, they might be in a lot rougher shape than you're expecting. So I use onX maps all throughout the season, and as I'm tracking a buck or out walking around and I find a scrape, not one of those scrapes where they just hit it just a little bit, but one of those scrapes where it's used by multiple bucks, maybe year after year, I like to take a picture and drop a waypoint with onX maps, and that helps me keep track of, differentiate my waypoints. I remember what the scrape looked like, and kind of brings back the memories from months ago during the season. Anyways, there's a little spot here that had 3 scrapes, so that's where I'm headed. I like to put the camera in right there. Well, I got back to where I had seen those scrapes last year, and nothing's opened up. Kind of looks like a dead zone. I almost dropped the camera there, but then I ended up walking. I just followed the trail both directions, where it come from or it was headed to. I went up that way, really didn't see much, and came back here, and it looks like the trail's maybe just shifted a little bit. So see the trail there, and there is a nice scrape right here, big overhanging branch. So I'm gonna find my setup. Pleased to know that I got a good spot here. All right, so I got my camera set up, and I don't use any scents or anything, but I've just taken my foot and kicked open that scrape. There's a lot of natural smells that emit from the ground, and I think the deer, they key in on that. There's also a trail right there, and that visual, that dark soil overturned, is going to attract them. They're going to come over and be curious, even if there's not anything there in terms of scent. They're going to use that. So we'll try to go drop one more before the sun sets. All right, so I think I got the last one here. There's a rub. It's been hit this year, and there's a overhanging branch here, scrape. So this would be another good setup. I'm I don't know, maybe less than a kilometer, but a pretty good distance from the other camera. So this will help me really spread out, cover this ridge from end to end. Well, I got 2 cameras hung, not as many as I wanted to, but there's a lot of ground to cover here. Excited to see what's going to be on these. Looks like the bucks are just starting to get going here. Curious to hear how other people are doing. If you've got things you're doing to prep for the season, action you're seeing, let me know about it. Go ahead and post it in the comments. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Tracking 200. We'll see you on the trail.